Okay, folks, welcome to the upper brackets final. This is Fnatic versus Mineski. Both teams gone through a lot of other teams to get up here. I think Fnatic's the favorite. Not I think, I know Fnatic is the favorite going into this match. We can take a look at the odds. Yeah, they're way in Fnatic's favor, 72% to 28. But you know what? Mineski's been playing really solid recently. So I'm excited to see what these two teams can put up against each other. And the IO's already out. But let's do some introductions. I'm Llama Down Under. I'm joined by PQMZ. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I think that's a pretty good value bet on Mineski though for 72% Fnatic.
Yeah. I think it's hard because when stuff like this happens, where Fnatic already got the IO, DJ's IO is well known. I, unfortunately, because of my casting schedule, haven't actually gotten to watch a lot of Fnatic, and even I know about DJ's IO. Pretty sure it's DJ. It's gonna be awkward if it isn't DJ. But he's good with the hero. to say the least.
I'm pretty sure they have Ohio transition to offlane, which is normally where DJ plays with the IO from the games I've seen, which is a really interesting mechanic. You generally don't have that happen in teams. But it's nice that they can mix it up and do that when they get the hero.
Yeah. So we'll see exactly who's on it, but a nice immediate counter pickup. I love this, the AA. I feel like AA is fantastic here for a number of reasons, but one, there's the healing that IO does, but it's also really easy to hit the Ice Blast on a relocating target. You can see it a bit more easily. So it'll be exciting to see if they can make it work. I say they bumped my table. And yeah, we got, oh goodness, it's the combo. So we just saw this wreck face in a game. I feel like regardless of how this goes, we're probably seeing IO banned next set.
I feel like IO Tiny is coming back to its prime now. Teams are just first twoing it, not giving too much of a consideration to what teams are going to counter it with. They're just confident that it's going to have an impact on the game, even if they have 3 or 4 counter picks, which is nice to see. But I feel like Ember and AA can definitely do their part, so we'll see what else they bolster their roster with.
Now, the ban out on Undying, wanting to make sure... we still don't know. It could be mid Ember. It could be safe lane Ember. But just wanting to make sure that whoever's in their safe lane from Mineski gets a lot of farm. And I wonder... It feels really greedy, but AA always opens you up for global possibilities, like stuff like the Spectre. So I think it's really scary to play a Spectre into an IO Tiny, but it is one of those more mobile heroes.
I feel like it's definitely a way you can take the AA, but at the moment it looks like they just want to have the Ember go safe lane, because going against IO Tiny mid is not the best thing in the world. AA is probably going to be down there as well, trying to get as much experience as he can. And I imagine they'll be picking up some kind of hero to deal with the IO Tiny now. The Quap's out the pool, Windrunner's still there, not the best option. Bristle's still in the pool, which synergizes fairly well with the AA, just having a lot of sustained damage throughout fights.
Yeah.
We'll see what options they go for.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
Mineski have, there's also... I'm trying to think of awesome supports against it. We've seen Disruptor picked up. We actually go with the Earthshaker. It could be, again, another offlane Earthshaker, just saw one of those. And he works in either one, I think. You know, offlane Earthshaker or safe lane.
Radiant team pick.
I feel like when you know
Sorry, not
they
safe
only
lane,
have 2
support.
heroes...
Brain dead. You were saying.
I knew what you meant, but if you put Earthshaker as an offlane into 2 heroes, they can pick 2 really greedy heroes. Whereas if you have an offlaner that offers some kind of pressure at least, it forces their safe lane to be different heroes, or they're giving something up in exchange for their greed, as opposed to Earthshaker, who can't really pressure that much. And I really like the clock here because he's very good at finding out AA, whether he's farming on his own, very good at finding the Earthshaker in fights and stopping him counter-initiating. The way of dealing with the IO Tiny is apparently a Viper.
Yeah, this interaction is really funky. Viper's a naturally tanky hero, and he can certainly Viper Strike the Tiny, or the IO really, probably the Tiny, just because of the effects. But it's going to be something where he can take out the IO pretty quickly. At the same time, it's... I don't know, I feel like Viper is a very hard hero to get a lot of farm on, and he also doesn't he sits there and is tanky. He doesn't maybe have the hugest damage output.
Well, I think the Viper leans it towards a support shaker, so he's going to be sitting around mid, probably making stacks for the Ember, trying to control runes with Viper to stop the IO getting them. And I think that's a good enough dual lane to stop the IO Tiny getting complete dominance in their lane. And Fnatic are probably going to look to pick up their other support here. That could still be their safe lane hero with the Lina. Which I like a lot into Viper and Ember. They have some mitigation / mobility between the two of them, but when you just tank a Laguna to the face, it's quite hard to deal with.
Yeah, it's something where Lina, despite the nerfs, she lost about 100 damage on the... She lost a bit of damage on the Light Strike Ray and then 100 or so on the Laguna Blade as it scales. But she's still a pain, especially if she can get the Ags Refresher. You hit so hard, it's pure damage. Not very many heroes can tank 1700 pure damage without being
When they nerfed
deaded.
Lina, I was actually really surprised they went with the LSA instead of like the Fiery Soul, because I feel like her right clicks are just too strong considering her nukes as well.
Yeah.
The hero is such a good hybrid when you think about it.
So, yeah, it's very powerful, and as you said, we've seen her before go right clicker. She has a lot of different item builds. She's very flexible as opposed to quite a few. We have some heroes in this game like Tiny. He has to go the Ags. He's probably going to go an AC, maybe then a Daedalus. It depends. He's got options after that. But Ember Spirit as well. You know, he's going to build ideally bots, then Battle Fury for some cleave, then Daedalus. But Mineski now probably picking up a support or a good offlaner. They could...
There's still Night Stalker in the pool.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that's got through this far, but I don't feel like it's the best hero for Mineski this game.
He's very squishy.
Fnatic-
He can do good work on IO, though. He could pick off this IO in a lot of team fights, I feel like.
Yeah, but you have to go through the Tiny, through the Clockwork, through the Lina, which is quite hard. When the rest of your team isn't the best, Viper's going to be able to be in the front line, but Ember doesn't want to be there. He wants to kind of come in after a few spells have been dropped. AA's not going to offer anything except his ulti, and Shaker's going to stay really far back and wait for the counter initiate. So I feel like they want something that goes in for them here, and most of that's been banned.
And this feels like it might be a really rough game for hitting AA Blast, just because you expect Tiny to probably pick up a blink. Clockwork's going to be hookshotting around. It might be a case of, you know, Clockwork hookshots in, splits up the team fight by placing those cogs between half of the heroes, so some are pushed back and some are pushed forwards, and then it's really hard to hit an AA Blast because they're not necessarily grouped up. You know, the clock is in one place, Tiny and IO might be off to the side. It just... Yeah. Team fight for Mineski, I think, gonna be rougher than with this IO Tiny.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Their last hero has to do a lot of work here in terms of initiating, I feel like. If they opt for the offlane Shaker, I'm really worried for them, so I hope they don't do that. I can't think off the top of my head what I'd look to go for the offlane here, but we'll see in about 10 seconds. I'm running down all the reserve time.
I mean, they have a lot of thinking to do.
5 seconds remaining.
And there's still Centaur in the pool, which is one of the only heroes I can think of. Okay,
Ooh.
there's still the Slider. I guess that does the job as well.
So, it's interesting. I feel like they've got a really mixed bag here. We've got a lot of early magical damage coming out of Mineski, and then as they scale a bit later, of course, Amber will bring a lot of damage physically, but it should help them out a little bit right now with
10 seconds
the Slaughter's amp damage. I don't know.
It was one of the only few options left in the pool, and it's a pretty strong option, to be honest, because Tiny's not the tankiest hero once you get rid of his armor, but he's going to have a hard time in lane, I feel, because if they pick any kind of setup hero for the Lina, there's still Venge in the pool, which isn't the best option, but they took away like the two ideal ones in the Shadow Demon and the Rubik.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they opt for.
And it's the Venge. We've
There we
been
go,
seeing her get picked up a lot. So
It's really good this game, because you can get people away from the AA Blast, and the just disengage for the Tiny's really good. Now he has two heroes to get him out of fight, so he can play extra aggressively. Same with the Lina.
yeah. So gonna be interesting to see. Also the aura. Like, Tiny already is one-man wrecking crew, and then damage aura minus armor. All nice. So, going to be interesting. I
Just
think a lot of this comes down to whether Raging Potato or Bimbo can get up his blink fast enough, because if he gets a fast blink, they can reliably pick off the IO in a lot of these fights with Slithering Crush and then amp damage.
Yeah, it looks like Mineski are going to go for aggro trailing just from who picked up what hero.
Well,
Ryo's
that's-
normally their offlaner, so I imagine they're going to put
10
him one-on-one
seconds
bottom
remaining.
against the clock and go for some. Oh, sorry, they'll
5
put Ryo
seconds
mid and
remaining.
probably put the Ember bottom and then go for some tri-lane top with the Slider
Yeah.
to put pressure on the dual lane from Fnatic.
So we'll be taking a look over, but let's get into introducing the teams. We've got Jules on that AA, Jesse Vash on Earthshaker, Ryo on the Viper, Ember Spirit's going to be played up by Cuckoo, or who also apparently goes by QQ, which I think is kind of cute, and Raging Potato or Bimbo headed up to that top lane, as you said. Might be an aggro, might not, and we've already got the early TP ward placement from Venge. We're seeing this a lot with the reduction in price of the TP.
Yeah, it's really smart. But over on Fnatic, we have Mushi on the safe lane Lina, DJ on his IO, Black on his well-known Tiny, Net on the Venge, and Ohio on one of his better heroes, I believe, which is the Clock.
Yeah, I feel like a
And
lot of
Raging
players...
Potato actually missing on the D ward here, which is really smart place by Net. This is so far away from what you normally expect a lane ward to be.
Yeah, you expect it much lower, as
30 seconds.
clearly they were. They
Oh,
were
they're
expecting
going
it
for
there
the
as well.
tree play. They're going to try and toss someone up onto the high ground. I've never
Okay.
seen this done from the Dire side before. I've seen it done on this cliff by Radiant a lot, but I've never seen it attempted on Dire.
Well, let's see if
And-
they can seal the deal. We've got a really early Chilling Touch coming out, but Black, he's also got a salve. Did I just see that right? Did he have a salve? he's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it?
he wasted himself.
Oh, goodness. So now Black, he's trying to catch someone. It's going to be
Oh,
the
he gets
Viper,
the
but I don't know
Viper?
if you want to toss the Viper. He does. DJ might just go down here. Oh, gosh, no. He manages to tether away in time, taking quite a bit of damage, but Net, Light Striker, he does hit. Raging Potato not able to seal the deal. They just need one more auto attack, two more. Oh, come on. Yes, and they get the first blood on Jesse Vasha, and Viper
And the
has
Viper
eaten
ate
his
his way
way
out.
free. And now I think he's going to kill off DJ with this Q. It is more than enough damage on that poison attack, but Viper gets away off to the side onto Black, and that's our first blood action-packed already. I think that play cute, but maybe Viper not the one you wanted to toss up there. Lucky he had tangos, but he did like
Yeah,
half
that's
of Wisp
not
health.
ideal because you can tango out of it. That's
Yeah.
the problem. If you got him up here, but I think that's a lot harder to get the IO up on, so it makes sense that they tried for that. But they just tried for such a cutesy play and it didn't really work because the AA Chilling Touch just gives them too much damage on the rune fight.
Yeah.
However, Ohio's having a bit of a problem bottom, getting harassed down by the Flame Shield, probably going to be forced to pop his salve really early. Makes the lane look really good for Cuckoo.
Yeah, it feels like a lane which I thought... Actually, they're running 2-1-2 on Mineski. So,
This makes sense.
kind of 2-1-2. Raging Potato has been alone for a while. He's halfway to level 2. Probably not going to make it for a while because it looks like the Earthshaker's thinking about mid. What can Viper do in this mid lane? The Q is very powerful, this poison attack. At the same time, it does take quite a bit of mana because you're an Agi hero. So,
As you say, you just have to keep harassing down, getting as much CS as you can, and relying mostly on the Earthshaker to stop their combos. Like, if you see the Tiny going for the stun use, you have to fish him off so you can't get the toss back into the tower, and Viper should be able to farm decently well in this lane. And it's how he transitions out of the lane, I feel, is going to be the big thing for them. Because Tiny is obviously going to look for stacks. They're actually going in for the toss now, they're getting back into the tower,
Oh,
but he should be able to
goodness.
walk it off.
yeah, the Io, the Tiny being so far away, Io just can't do anything here. The corrosive skin just helping Viper out move speed. Io, and no such luck
actually-
killing Ryo.
He actually gets the bounty rune, so it makes up for a tiny bit of the CS and XP he would have missed, but it's really smart from the IO Tiny, just forcing him out of the lane. He's probably gonna just tango up and come back, but that's a creep wave he's missed, and he only has 3 CS, so this is going really well for Fnatic,
Yeah.
despite the early disaster. I also want to note, they blocked the hard camp from Fnatic, so they
Yep.
can't look to stack that one.
But Io hasn't left this lane. So it's, of course Io at some point will be stacking up a lot, but for now, he's been sitting very much in mid, making sure Black doesn't get dominated the moment he leaves, and there he finally goes to stack. But on bottom, it looks like doing a lot of damage. They get the cold feet to proc, and now 2 more auto attacks, and they've got the Ember Spirit. So, they've got the Clockwork. Ember Spirit being very happy with that kill, and Slaughter finally getting some more experience. He was having a really rough time in top. He wasn't able to reach level 2 for a long time, so... that's something where Clockwork just naturally has an easier lane.
Yeah, I feel Slider needs to have the supports forced to rotate away, or he needs to have someone to help him. But you can do some really cutesy stuff by pulling this camps, leeching in the trees, which is a lot harder because of the lane ward, or just, you know, tanking the creeps at the tower like this. Use your hero to get as much XP as you can.
Yeah. So he should be
But
hitting
this
level.
Viper's having a really big problem.
Yeah. I mean, if he's probably their mech carrier for Mineski, it's going to be pretty impactful shutting him down, because it just means that they won't be able to fight as aggressively for a while on Mineski.
Oh yeah, if they can take advantage of the time where Clock and Lena both have their ultimates when there's no mech on Mineski, they don't really have a big counterplay. Because Slider can't really run in there. They only really have to Shaker Fisher and the Remnants to get away. That's their saving grace.
Yeah, and
So it's looking really good for Fnatic right now.
so we can see they're at a slight lead. It's nothing to write home about, but on the other hand, we do have Ember Spirit forming up a storm in bottom. Lena is too. It feels like the Ember. It's hard to say who will have more impact. This safe lane Mushi Lena is kind of interesting. It's not something I've seen a lot. The safe lane Lena.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think it serves a really good purpose. They're both going to look to be active, I hope. Ember's probably going to be
Oh,
a
there's
bit
the
more
turnaround
farmy.
coming out in mid. Black taking a lot of damage. Of course, Io healing him up now. But the Earthshaker Fissure on point is exactly what you talked about. They started going onto Viper and immediately Earthshaker fissured, and Io Illusion's actually doing a bit of damage. But Slaughter rotated out. Top tower, it might be a very early push. And Net is just chilling, hiding from... I don't know if you see this. It's very weird.
Yeah, he should have been scattered there, I think.
I thought he was seen, but Slaughter didn't ping it, so maybe he saw it, just told his team, hey, there's a Venge doing Venge things.
Yep, doing net things, specifically. The ward also scats him out, so he's gonna know when they look to rotate into the river. But he's gonna get a lot of experience here.
Oh, they
He
get
should
the
not
Searing
die here
Chains onto
because
Ohio. These Cold Feet, they're gonna proc again, and Ohio's just gonna burn down to the Flame God.
Looks like they're gonna pick up Raging Potato top as well, unless he can juke through the trees.
Oh, it's
Looks
hard to
like
duke
Rishi
when they
should
have
be able to
Vision
get
of
it.
You, of Wave of Terror. One more auto attack, he gets the stun, but as we said, one more. And no one available to TP, and even if they did, both of these heroes are full health on Fnatic, so they finally get themselves a kill. And Raging
That
Potato.
shouldn't happen. Like, he saw the Venge here.
Oh,
Like, he
and-
should know that play's coming.
I thought they were
When
gonna get a
Mushi
kill
push-
in mid.
When Mushi pushes the wave in, it's really obvious what they want to do with the supports. So, it's just a bit of misplays coming out from Mineski's side.
Now,
Highest hit is level 6 now, so he's going to look to be active.
he's gonna try to pick up the next rune, even though he's died twice. It's something where it feels, oh, Cuckoo actually, oh, the hook shot steals it and gets the invis. Very well played from Ohio there. You know, I think it's a fine use of the first hook shot,
Radiant's bottom
and now he
tower
can set up
is
something with
under
the
attack.
invis.
Well, he has a full bottle on the Ember, so it's not the biggest steal, but if he can get a kill mid, then it's definitely worth it. He wants a kill from this first hook shot, and if this Invis rune allows him to get it, then it's the same thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody on Mineski playing up at all. Everybody's pretty aware that he just got an illusion, so staying chill. And Slaughter's wraparound attempt on the mid lane, he's hoping to be useful, but they see him exactly like, oh, they don't actually, that's a low ground ward, I'm silly. But Slaughter, even if he goes down there, they'll see him. So it's going to be hard to make this rotation do anything for Slaughter, and yeah, now they see him. And Ohio's chasing him. They could just wrap around and dive him here. He's even using Sprint.
Dire's
But
bottom
Ohio
tower is
TP's
under
out,
attack.
offering to get the experience down bottom. And this is something where even though Ohio's died, it feels like it's worth it since his level 6 is so early. You just sometimes die for your levels.
Yeah, whenever you like go on a hero in the offlane, you're actually going to push the lane. Especially, they're actually going on him now with the Flame Guard and the Remnants. The
Yep,
proc
he's,
the chilling
oh gosh,
feet.
he keep getting these cold feet to proc, and it's just, oh, he manages to
Oh, the
walk
hook?
it off. No,
Radiant's
one more
top
auto
tower
attack,
is
and
under attack.
yeah, the cold feet
Yeah.
with the Searing Chains is pretty much ensuring the cold feet go off. I think, is it called, technically called
Dire's
Snap?
bottom tower is under attack.
don't know if
I
it
have
has a
no idea what the
technical term.
debuff's called.
So,
But it's really good that Ember's getting the kills here. But as you said, whenever Clock dies, like they naturally push the lane in because of the Flame Guard. So if he TP's back immediately, he normally is going to get some experience out of it.
yeah.
Fortunately, he dies like after he's hit his 6, so That one's a bit unfortunate, and his hook's down for another 30, but that's going to give time for Io to pick up his relocate. He's quite close.
Yeah,
He's
so
6
they
now.
just did 2 triple stacks in the jungle. Black getting a lot of farm from that, rocking 1,000 gold, and Io also getting levels. AA also, though, he, with these 4 kill involvements, he is big. He almost has
Radiant structures
the recipe for the Midas. And Net
That's
will
a really
TP
big
out. Is he
deal.
going to catch him? No. So this AA might be early level 11 if he can keep up this sort of farm. He just needs to get a few creeps, but again, you're an AA. You don't really get creep priority.
Not when the Slaughter's here saying, I want my blink, dude.
Yeah.
But he's got his Midas recipe now, which is enough. He'll be able to pick it up from just like bounty runes, pulling, passive gold. And he'll probably have it by like the 13-14 minute mark if he doesn't die, which is
Yeah.
solid timing.
So.
That's if he doesn't get any kills at all though.
Now, Tiny, I think he's working on a Blink Dagger. There's a number of Blink Dagger targets here. I think that you have to go on the Earthshaker and AA, though. It's going to be hard on the Viper. Corrosive Skin helping you out a little bit there. And then also the Slaughter, you know, naturally tanky. So, and Ember, of course, with the 0 cost point on Remnant. Though, Ohio's having a little look-sees. He could... Oh, Raging Potato is actually in Sprint. Ohio, yeah, he gets pinged out. I think Ohio thinking about it, but not deciding to go.
I think he'd die if the AA was able to
Yeah,
assist.
AA's
But he's got
hit
mana for both
6.
his spells.
So, now, let's talk Mushi. He's gonna have a very fast Yules. Do you just immediately go Ags? Do you think there's something else necessary this game? Yules can help you set up on the Ember Spirit. It's still hard to chain that perfectly.
You actually can't. No matter. I don't.
The
think
Ember
there's
Spirit has to
ever-
misplay, right?
Yeah, you can just slight on the ground and you will always hit it.
Yeah.
So he has to set up off the slight animation, which he can then remnant out from. So it's basically impossible. But the other 4 heroes are really vulnerable to it. So I wasn't sure if he was going to opt for the yours, but it makes a lot of sense if he wants to be active. After this, you could probably look for maybe bots, Bloodstone, or Shadowblade, depending how you want to take the game.
Yeah.
Bots for a more farm-orientated pick-off game. Bloodstone if you want to group up and fight a bit more. Shadowblade again if you want to focus more on picking off the
Radiant's
Ember.
top tower is under attack.
So, Io has hit 6 now, with the more triple stacks being done by Black. They are forming up a storm, actually both working together to stack. I really like that type of play. And while Net, you know, maybe hasn't had a whole bunch... Oh, Ember Spirit actually comes in. Net's here, though. Mushi might be able to should hit a Light Striker right here. Loses the Laguna Blade, but it just pops the Flame Guard. Really interesting play, and now Raging Potato is here. Looks like a very dead Net. An AA Blast just to make sure that he goes down. And AA actually gets it. He has a
That's
Midas.
worth it for Fnatic though, because they got the tower kill and forced a free hero rotation.
Yeah.
So they're quite happy with that. Mushi opting to go for phase, so he's going for the more move speed orientated build.
The Avalanche, he doesn't manage to get the toss back, and now he's taking the Viper Strike. The stun here might be enough. They're working on the IO, realizing that Black's just getting healed up. They'll relocate out, but they'll get the IO on the return. Well, actually, the IO might be able to tether away to this creep wave. Let's check cooldowns. It's really hard. They're going to try to go for the Slithering Crush. We have TPs in as well, and they decide on Mineski that it is too dangerous. So, a nice little AA blast, but AA, he had a sub-11 minute Midas. He's going to be
They're actually
farming
hooking
very
top
well.
rune. He catches 2 with the cogs.
Oh gosh, he catches 2, and as you said, now here comes Io, but Ohio taking way too much damage. They throw the toss him with the sprint. It looks like that was enough damage, but they should be able to catch Io. No relocate save this time from DJ. AA goes down on the bottom lane, meanwhile. Looks like Laguna Blade was expended
He's
there.
gonna live.
DJ, he can't disjoint
that's
that
so
last
close.
attack. So, but Lena, as we said, picks off the AA in bottom. She didn't, in fact, use the Laguna Blade. Just enough with her Light Strike Array, Fiery Souls, and Dragon Slave.
Yeah, the AA is so squishy, so if ever he gets found out, it's free food for the Lena, the Clock, or the Tiny.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be really careful with his positioning. Despite his early farm, he has to make sure he doesn't feed too much of that away, because it's very easy to just continually die with this hero.
So.
Might go on Cuckoo top though, it misses the Avalanche, so Cuckoo should be fine.
He isn't remnanting away yet. He gets
He doesn't have
tossed
mana to
up.
remnant,
Oh
actually.
gosh, he's just TPing. He should be fine here. Yeah, he does get out. That was a play. And now Lena on the bottom lane, she's taken a lot of damage, but at the same time the Light Striker Ray hits. She might just kill off Raging Potato, and they do! AA's trying to exchange with her, but you don't beat Fiery Souls, AA. And Lena, she walks out of the cold feet, so doesn't even take that damage. Up top, though, the Ember, he came back to his Remnant, taking a lot of damage. He tries to Remnant dodge something, but he does an Avalanche toss. Balls, he's gonna go down! Mineski, it feels like falling apart a little bit in this mid-game.
Yeah, Fnatic are just like picking them apart really well. They're actually relocating mid to pick up the
Yeah,
Viper.
it looks like goodbye Viper, although this guy, we talked already, he's very tanky, but not tanky enough. And the
He's got a
fissure,
hook for the Shaker. Oh,
he
he
misses. The fissure, it has a really big cost wind up, so understandable that that missed, but really painful. Obviously, if that hit, would have bought Viper some much needed time. And Ember with that death puts him further away. He was trying to go for bots, and it's just putting him further and further away.
Yeah, this is not an easy game because Fnatic have control of all 3 lanes. Wherever they go, there's like 2 heroes that can come in at any point. Mushi's pretty much able, like, he gets a ward from one of his supports, drops it down here. He's just able to be here alone. Even though the relocate's on cooldown, he still feels really confident.
Yeah, goodbye AA. He has
here.
a Laguna Blade if he needs. There's going to be a Remnant in, but it's not going to be enough. An AA Blast flies out. It does actually put the Frostbite proc on Mushi, so Mushi's going down here no matter what, and Ember Spirit makes sure he gets it, so that's a big kill for him, and Mushi overstaying his welcome. But we'll see if Ember, I think he's going to buy out the bots now. He does. The other thing that's worrisome here, though, for Mineski is looking at these levels. This Earthshaker so under-leveled. Fnatic really has an experience advantage, and right now at this point in the game that's worth more than the gold advantage, because that means you've got heroes with ults and your opponents don't. Having swap and having no Echo Slam, it just means in these upcoming fights Mineski has to play more carefully, and they can't be ballsies. They have to take little pickoffs, feels like.
Yeah, the Echo Slam's not too big of a deal at this point of the game, though. He's just a Fisher bot, so the levels are obviously going to be useful. But until he gets his blink, he doesn't really need the Echo. He's opting to sit behind his Viper like he should be doing. He's doing the right thing. The kills just aren't coming their way, because whenever Mineski show up on their own, they're getting picked off. And they're doing the right thing now by grouping up as 5 heroes and trying to force Fnatic to either trade or come and fight them.
Yep.
Fnatic opting to trade right now to be more efficient and farm more 3 lanes.
That...
2 lanes, sorry, and the jungle.
That's smoke. Some of the creeps may have seen it, but there's a counter smoke, so it looks like they're they're going into the jungle, but they don't know it. Nobody's in there. Black also has his Aghanims. I think it's on the way out to him on the courier, and a really deep ward placed by those smoked up heroes on Fnatic. So, not looking like this smoke.
They might catch the courier.
No, the courier's way over them because it's nighttime. No vision. It looks like, though, AA probably gonna take a tumble. A Blast gonna be off the mark, but they catch out DJ, and DJ, he doesn't have anything he can do here. He tries to tether away the Slaughterhouse and the Fissure of Dreams, but there's a hook shot onto AA. Cold Feet should pick off DJ, but they immediately blow up the AA. Now Black is taking quite a lot of damage from the amp, and there's the stun to come out. It's locking him down, and now the TP's out from the rest of Fnatic. That's a huge kill for them. Tiny, way up on the net worth, of course, gonna be worth way more, and they get a little under 1,000 gold for Mineski's troubles.
When Mineski are 5-on-5, they can still take the fights, which is what they need to be doing.
Oh, Laguna Blade comes out onto Slaughter.
It's really nice ward placement by Mushi.
Yeah.
I want to point this out as well. The supports are actually giving Mushi the wards to place because he's playing so aggressively. So instead of them having to do it themselves, like DJ never has to leave his wisp. Net can sit behind whatever he feels like he needs to do, whether it's stack or just farm the woods and get his experience. Like, Mushi's the one doing the warding at the moment, which is really weird to see, but it's so smart.
Yeah. So.
However, they also have some really good vision on Mineski mid, so they'll be able to see when heroes split up.
Yeah, they have really close wards here. And Mineski, actually, they're not running... Before, they had been running very close together, trying to make sure that they wouldn't really be caught off by relocate ganks. It's something where kind of the only way to deal with that is to stay more grouped as a team so that you can't be picked off. But Viper is pretty far up alone in this mid lane, although now his team is rotating back up to support him.
He's recovered really well after having a slightly bad mid lane to getting all these kills in these fights. They're looking to pick off Cuckoo here though.
It's a really hard kill.
Follow up.
So
If he hits the hook now, but the creep's blocking it so he couldn't go for it. And he always had the Remnant out.
Yeah, a nice attempt there. As you said, you can hook shot into Light Strike Array. So it's close, but you can do it. So Viper gonna wander up to top lane. Oh, here's a relocate though.
Down?
They're gonna probably kill off AA Lickety Split. He gets the AA blast off. Can there be any sort of follow-up? Io might go down here to Viper Strike. They should have enough damage. One more auto attack shot. He pops to the AA. So, well, technically to the Viper.
No, he doesn't have the Remnant.
No, he doesn't hit the Searing Chains. The Sleight of Fist wasn't close enough. And it's a trade, a little bit in favor, apparently, gold-wise, for Mineski. I'm not sure overall who I'd give that to. It feels like you really...
Fnatic forced heroes to rotate, so you have to take into account the TP money they spent. But this should really cue that there's a ward on this cliff for Mineski. If they don't de-ward this, I'll be really surprised, because that's pretty much a blind relocate.
Yep. In the meantime, Mushi just pushing up a storm. He's over halfway to his Ags, 3/4 of the way there pretty much. And now Black, maybe now he's working on that blink. Maybe it's just going to be a straight AC. You can kind of delay the AC item. Sometimes we see even IOs, was Tinies with IOs, go for the drums for extra stats. But since Black has such great farm, I think he can skip over it.
I'd expect him to go Manta this game, so you can Manta dodge the Cold Feet, the Searing Chains, and you can also Manta dodge the projectile from Viper, which is really big this game. And I know Black likes going Manta because it's farm efficiency, and he likes to hit creeps.
He does, in fact, like to hit creeps. He's hit 150 of them so far. Some of them little creeps, like this family he's destroying right now. But happens to the best of us. Io is getting close to a mech. This Io is also pretty stacked. We saw one of these last game. But traditionally, Io a hero where it's really great if he gets farm, but he can do a lot without it, so he doesn't always get it. But they're really sacking Venge here. Lowest net worth in the game.
Venge is fine with that, though. She's got the Wave of Terror, which she's always going to get off. Her aura's good if she dies and if she doesn't die, which I think is one of the best changes to the hero they ever did, and Swap's always useful. Unfortunately, Mineski missed on the D-Ward on the cliff, thinking it was just placed in a slightly next level place. Unfortunately, it was just the normal hill ward that you'll see most of the time.
Yeah.
So
they thought it was fancy, it wasn't. A is gonna find it now with his next sentry. Although he might be in the danger zone if he's not careful. He does manage to get it, so...
And Slider's just picked up his blink as well. So.
Oh, they found Mushi! Mushi might be in a spot of trouble, but they hookshot onto the backline. They managed to remnant out of that. Probably going to be Ohio, but no, they're just going to kill off Jesse Vash. And Ohio, he has the Blade Mail. Do they have anything to stop him? No, there was a relocate in on the backlines as well. Ember Spirit's trying to get the hell out of Dodge. They need to tether up and get out of there.
They might look to go Rosh now that they know the AA Blast is on the cooldown.
Yeah.
They can take it pretty quickly with Mushi, but it looks like Black wants to defend top instead and pick up the creeps. They're trying to go on net mid.
I don't think they can catch this. They're way too deep. That's a tier 2 right next to you. Jesse Varsha, he's going to get stunned up, but what do they have? They're making a lot of damage on him. The swap's not going to work anymore, and they're trying to burn him down, but here comes Io keeping him alive, and they realize they need to get the hell out of Dodge. Raging Potato, you might have a blink, but you don't want to be there. So he's actually trying to hide up on the high ground, and they're rotating more heroes in. Oh, gosh. He's going to see DJ here, but DJ's going to come up on him.
The AA Blast missing net, unfortunately. I'm not sure it would have been a kill. It's only level 1.
So, and Mushi, as we've talked about all game, all day, playing super aggressively, has his Ags up. He is just hiding deep in the forest. And Mineski, slowly but surely, you know, maybe even in kills, but they're just going to fall behind in farm because their map is much more unsafe. Look at how many bloody sentries they have out as well. And they still don't have good map vision. They've got sentries just littering the map.
It's really hard to be a support when there's so much pick-off potential on the other team. You have to tell your team to go with you, and you don't always know where the wards are. Because if you ever fall behind, then you don't know where they are, like, actually placing the wards. Which makes it really hard for you. Fnatic might be looking to go for a smoke now. Nets might opt to heal up first. He's just picked up the medallion. Mushi just got his Ags. So, might be a pick into Rosh, or they might just go straight into Rosh.
Looks like they're looking for a smoke on
safe.
Mineski. Yeah, they also smoked. So if they can catch out Mushi here, will be great. You know, Black is the ideal target because he's so high up on the net worth, but you'll take Mushi. You'll take anybody, really. And they're trying to bait Viper, and oh gosh, Mushi now knows she's seen by them. She doesn't manage the Light Strike Array, and Mushi is just dead. Here comes Clockwork trying to save her life, but it is way too late, and he might be in the wrong place, wrong time. He's going to try to TP out. Do they have anything? They fissure him. A blast. He's very dead. Remnant for good measure, but at the same time, as you said, Roshan going down. They have the medallion up on net. They're also going to use that Wave of Terror. This is an easy Roshan for Fnatic. And Mineski, no idea because of their ward vision, again coming back to bite them.
I'd say that trade's worth it at the end, as they get the Rosh. Really good space creation. Unfortunately, it came at the cost of 2 kills, instead of them getting kills and then getting Rosh, but Fnatic will take it. Mineski just need to play really carefully now. If they end up losing 1 or 2 fights on the back of this Aegis and maybe some more towers, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
We've also got the... You were completely right about the Manta on Black. He just... Really, a couple things to purge off, but it feels like really wanting to farm.
It's such a good item on Tiny. Especially when you have to deal with like Viper, amp damage, like... Being able to disjoint these things and remove the debuffs is a huge thing.
Yeah. I'm just a little surprised because even though, as you can see, it does a lot of work on a tower or whatever, and of course there's the disjoint, it feels like they could really end this game early on Fnatic with their lineup and then just not give Ember a chance at all to come online. Although, as I say, don't give him a chance to come online. 23 minutes in, still doesn't have his Battle Fury. Average timing this patch is 25 minutes. So,
His farm's decent at this point, so he's gonna have it soon. Probably, as you say, around the 25-minute mark, which is the average.
yeah.
However, I don't think Fnatic have the ability to end this game early at all. Mineski have really good high ground defense between Shaker, Ember, AA. It's really scary to push into those heroes. And Blink Slardar and Viper early is just, it's so hard to fight into. They're gonna look to keep doing what they're doing right now. Even though they have the Aegis, they're probably going to wait until the last few seconds or minutes of it to use it, get as much off the map as they can. This is how you utilize IO Tiny to its finest, I feel like.
Oh, we're
Especially
getting
going
ready for a
reload on the AA.
relocate. They're going, yeah, AA, goodbye, sweet prince.
That should cue. There's another ward around this area. Let's hope they actually
they
find
know.
it this time. But it's about to expire anyway, so that's good warding from Fnatic.
Yeah. At the very least, AA actually has up a lot of gold. He picked up that point booster, and also they're getting close to the blink on Earthshaker, so that's gonna be nice. I was gonna say, it gets a little bit scary, I think, for for Fnatic. As this game does go later, I really do think Mineski has a lot of good scaling. The amp damage gets better because there's more physical damage. The Earthshaker, you know, he'll be getting items. And AA is one of those supports who just scales really well.
Yeah, Fnatic don't have the late game completely in the bag by any means. As you say, Mineski do scale decently, but I feel like Luna's going to be the X factor here for Fnatic, and vice versa. It's going to be AA for Mineski. Possibly the Shaker as well, if he manages to get a few really good Blink Echoes. Looks like they're going to pick off the Slardar bottom with the hook.
Bimbo not looking so good. He gets Yulesed up. I don't think they even need the hook. Light Strike Array gonna hit Laguna Blade. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Mushi was going to expend it there.
It's safer when there's a tier 2 tower there, and the cooldown's so short. Better safe than sorry.
100%. So we've got Venge. She's still holding Black's wand. The Aegis is active for a little under 2 minutes, so not a super big deal that they haven't gotten a push with it or anything, because they are just doing a better job on Fnatic of farming up this map.
I'd actually like to
10,000
see them just relocate mid and kill this tower now.
I think they might think about doing it bottom. There's a hook shot onto Earthshaker. Here comes the relocate. Viper up in the air. Light Strike Array gonna hit. They're actually going on the Viper first, knowing that Earthshaker's dead. A Blows might hit, but I don't think it's enough. He tries to use the Viper Strike on Hayu. He'll tick down, so at least they get one. But that's not what you want. And as you said, they're also gonna get mid. Someone's TPing in. Venge, she's gonna maybe take a fall here. Slithering Crush. They should have enough damage. Can they get her? She also has... Well, might as well. She helps get the tower. Net is going to fall here eventually. Oh! A nice swap, kind of funky, but also looks like top and bottom both gonna fall in exchange for that. Yeah, both of these towers pretty much
Really
dead.
smart play by Fnatic. Having the balls to say Venge is going to push mid, Mushi's solo bottom, pushing the tower, and they opt to take the Tiny back with the reload to push in top, so just playing really efficiently around the map. It's really nice to see this kind of play.
A lot of people in this game right now really rich. Earthshaker, he got set back on the blink a little bit, but Mushi has 3.6k gold, 3k on black. I imagine an AC just helps with the slaughter a bit. Not sure. Oh gosh.
Yeah, AC's a good item to follow up. He could also opt for just a butterfly or a crit instead. Butterfly is decent this game, but I think AC is just stronger at doing what Butterfly does, especially when you're looking at sieging as well.
They're gonna
They
hit
might
the
pick up the
A
clock
blast
here,
on
though.
Ohio. There's the Searing Chain. Sleight of Fist. Oh my goodness. With the Ancient stack there. Did a lot of work, but now the Avalanche Toss combo. Balls are gonna kill him off. Tiny actually gets the last hit there, but when you have Avalanche Toss and the balls out, that's more than enough to wreck a Flame God, and that kill not worth it for Ember Spirit.
It's nice that he's going for that though, because he realizes he needs to do something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the team was just there to capitalize on his positioning, which is probably going to prompt to push down mid now that the Tiny has the AC and the Ember's dead for 40. Mushi isn't there though.
Do you as Mineski here, it feels like if you play the safe, just try to farm it out, try to total in your base, you're waiting for Fnatic to make a mistake. Do you try to go for a smoke or something? You're out of smokes for 10 more minutes. It means somebody has one, which means they are going for a smoke play. That's probably why the courier's hovering. Yeah.
Yeah, if they just let this game continue at this pace, there's no way they're winning it. So they have to find some way of probably looking to pick off Mushi because he's constantly been alone most of this game. Ohio's been there half the time. Net's never been there, I feel like. So that's the place I'd look to go to. Secure your own woods to start with. But it is risky. Like, if they get one bad fight because of going for something like that, it's almost game over. So they're obviously hesitant and then want to pick the best fight they can.
Yeah. And
Ohio actually warding again for his team.
super deep wards. Like, these wards by Fnatic have just been on point.
Like, it's so rare that you see core players actually have inventory slots to do this at 30 minutes as well. It's
Also,
really
Lina
nice
has
to
a
see.
Shivas.
Fnatic looking really polished.
Yeah. And as you said, this aggressive play by Mushi really paying off. She's constantly sitting in bottom lane. She's going to hide for a bit now. She probably won't poke her head out here. Oh, she's thinking about going for it. It's a big mistake if Mushi goes for this, but she might think she can do something to Cocoon. No, she just TP's out. Good game sense from Mushi. I think she saw the Viper maybe. But it's just something where she plays so aggressively, whoever comes down here dies, and they don't feel like they can de-ward their jungle. So they finally got some protection up for it.
The fact he's doing this with no vision, except for this one in the woods as well, just shows his game sense.
Yeah.
Radiant's
And he
middle
knows
tower
that he
is
can
under
do it
attack.
because Mineski feels scared.
Dire's
So
bottom tower is under attack.
he's just pushing his hero to the limits right now, which is really nice to see. And
Radiant's top
meanwhile,
tower is
they
under
try
attack.
to push out bottom and get their
Yeah.
woods clear. IO Tiny just doing rat things top, forcing them back.
And they're gonna have to TP back. They do have the Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker now, so maybe if IO Tiny do rat things, there could be a blink on them very quickly, and actually smoked up Slaughter. They're gonna be out of smokes because of this. The illusions come by Slaughter actually getting hit by them. Now he can't blink.
That's unfortunate, wasting that smoke, because as you said, it's going to be a long time until they can do anything with them, and that's their easiest way of getting back into the game. Not having smokes just makes executing ganks a lot harder.
Yeah, you've got to be much more perfect. It's also just not even a question of perfect. It's the fact that a lot of these heroes, they see you coming, they have escapes, maybe they relocate out or so on, versus if you can actually jump the IO. And, yeah, IO is very close to Guardian Greaves, another thing that's going to make this Slaughter more and more obsolete. The fact that there's an AC, a Shiva's God on Lina, and now soon to be a Guardian's Greaves on IO. Slaughters!
I'm actually quite surprised Mushi went for the Shivas over something like a Hex, but just feeling he wants the armor, and it's really good at doing what he's doing right now. So he might look for it next. I'm not sure if he wants to go for something like Refresher instead to use the mana pool that Shivas gives.
Yeah.
I could see Refresher working over Hex actually. So then you can just burst down the Viper instantly.
And
They're
we've got
actually reloading
relocate
bottom
push.
to do
Yeah,
damage.
this is the rat coming out, and look at that tower falling. Probably just gonna take a few hits. Black doesn't even care. He actually has to be a little bit careful. Mushi using that Shiva's. Black immediate toss, and look at the damage they're taking. The cleave and the relocate out, and they're gonna lose the tower to the illusions. Denver Spirit actually denying it.
Bottom tower has been
You can tell TJ knows exactly what he's doing on this hero. He breaks the tether knowing it's like gonna be on cooldown. He dodges the AA plus, so there's no chance of him dying, and if he doesn't die, the Tiny's not dying.
Dire's top tower
Fnatic
has
just know
fallen.
exactly what to do with this combo. And they might even get the Ember bottom here if Mushi lands a stun.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Doubt he'll
rough.
get it up.
Yeah, searing, sleight of fist.
That's
Ember
as close
runs away.
to perfect as you can get, I think, on the timing, and it still wasn't even close to catching him. So frustrating.
I mean, welcome to instant cost points coming out of other people. Glimmercape up on bench. Clockwork has his full stealth blade mail, had that for a while. Demon Edge rocking up on Tiny. Do you think it's a Daedalus? I don't see any reason it would be an MKB right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they
I'd
threw an
agree with the
AA blows
Daedalus.
onto Mushi, but no follow-up from Jesse Vash. I don't think he could do anything alone there. He actually goes for the Echo Slam on Mushi. I spoke too soon, and now Mushi's dead, but Net with the beautiful swap. They're trying to go on Mushi still.
the
Yule's up, and they're gonna kill off Jesse Vasha. I think they'll get Raging Potato as well. Where's the Laguna Blade? There it is. And this
I want to
kill...
point this ward out from Mineski. They're doing exactly the right thing there, but they're just too far behind. If Jesse went a little bit earlier, I think he might have had a bit more of a window, but with Net being there, it's so hard to execute these kills.
And Ohio surprise was there as well. So
I think if they had that ward like 10 minutes
Oh, he
ago,
hit
it
the
would
searing
definitely have
chains,
done
and now
more.
he might take a magic missile to the face. He does. Lena coming in close. Mushi's very low. A blast doesn't hit her, doesn't even get the frostbite proc on her, and at the same time, guess who's at top, knocking on their door?
They could actually reload bottom if the creep wave pushes in.
Yeah.
It's actually too far right now, so never mind. But they're just playing this so well. I can't state this enough. Aegis is gonna spawn now. It's been a really long rush timer, so they'll secure that. There's very little chance of Mineski contesting this unless they feel like they have to go all in here because they feel the game's slipping away. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to try and fight here. But Fnatic have really good vision, and I think Mineski is still out of smokes.
Yeah.
So Fnatic will see them coming if they do that.
What do you do here is, you got 2k gold. Are you just saving for some buyback action, or, because he didn't finish off the Guardian Greaves, which I thought was an option.
For IO, maybe Lotus
Oh,
off to get rid
Vlad's.
of the...
It's Vlad's.
Yeah, Vlad's is also really
And
good pickup.
goodbye,
It makes Tiny
Slaughter.
so tanky.
Yeah. So, Slaughter is going to get out there, but now here comes the push on bottom, and they have to kill this Tiny twice. The Tiny that they haven't killed but once.
They actually have to kill the Tiny like 3 times.
Yeah, when you
Because of
include the
relocate
IO.
as well.
Yeah.
Which is not happening. Like, I don't think they can kill him once. If the IO's there to at least heal him up. Disregarding the relocate entirely. So this is going to have to be some really sick plays coming out from the Shaker.
Oh, they have a stun out onto Black. They've also force-stuffed him forwards. A nice little play there. And then there's the fissure coming out. He's not taking enough damage, and now Io's here to make sure he takes even less with the overcharge. Blast way off the mark. Cuckoo gets the searing chains. Black again, maybe in a bit of trouble, but at the bottom lane, the rest of Fnatic are grouped up. They're ready to push in, even if Black doesn't want to. And they can just relocate Black over there, win the team fight. They've got a lot of options, it feels like, on Fnatic, and not so many on Mineski.
Radiant's middle tower is
Cuckoo's
under
trying to
attack.
push out top and get whatever
Radiant's
farm he
middle
can.
tower has fallen.
He's probably got a Remnant in base, so he can come back to defend, but... As you say, their options are just so limited right now. Fnatic have
Black's just
complete
gonna, oh
control.
my goodness, did you see how much he did? He did like a fifth of that Rax's health, and he's just gonna come back in. Gonna start auto-attacking this. Yeah, this Rax 3 hit from Black, and now there's something to make him hit even harder. They can't take him down from full health. The AA blows. No, they're gonna swap him out of it. Net, what a play. He might go down, but Black stays alive, and he has Aegis to boot. A nice fissure coming out. Black, he's gonna have a ways to go, but he's just gonna kill off anybody who comes to him. Another reload tether. Gonna mean that they don't actually have it up maybe for the next one, but Laguna Blade coming out on Ryo. Oh goodness, they actually pick up the clockwork. Nice little stun there. Black though, he's still ready to go ham. They're only a ranged Rax down. Ember Spirit, one of those heroes that can actually deal with this. Here comes Earthshaker, gets the fissure out on Black. Maybe a miscommunication on who they want to go on. Raging Potato has bought back, and now Ember Spirit is dead. And they're just going to kill off
This'll be,
Slaughter too.
Slaughter as well.
I don't want to say it's GG, but that's some dieback action, and this is a Rax. And the other Raxes are exposed. They can go for these tier 3 towers. No tier 2s left. They pop the
They
cliff.
could go
They're-
throne.
Yeah,
if
they're
they know there's
throwing
no
out
buybacks.
AA Blast, trying to do whatever they can, and it's just not enough.
Radiant's
They
bottom
probably
barracks
don't know
has
Ember doesn't have a
fallen.
buyback. By the time Viper spawns, his will just be available as well. So they're going to do the safe play, which is perfectly understandable.
Tiny is 11.5 thousand net worth above the next person, making it even more with these Rax kills. And suddenly they're facing supers in 2 lanes for Mineski.
It might be a third.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like they have any sort of fight they can put up. Black wandering over. Cold Feet just gonna tickle him. He is huge. And we haven't even seen, like, good, lucky, craggy exterior procs, you know? This is all just him being tanky as
Well, he
shit.
got a lucky
And that's
crit on
our
the Ember
GG.
bottom to kill him off,
Yeah.
in all fairness.
Nice Echo Slam to end it off. They might, if the game continued, kill off
They don't
DJ,
even
but
get
no.
the IO.
No such luck. So that's game 1 in the bag. Fnatic take it very convincingly. That puts them 1 game away from being in the grand finals to see who qualifies for the summit. So any final words on this one?
Ban the IO, please.
Yeah, I feel like you have to ban the IO. It's amazing. I can't believe he
DJ's
gets
IO is
through.
really impressive. I've never seen it through a spectator point of view, but Jesus Christ, he plays that hero so well.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting you guys into game 2 as soon as possible. We've got a few words from the sponsors, and then, yeah, once again, I'm Llama Down Under, joined by PQMZ. Feel free to follow me on Llama Down Under Twitter.